I became obsessed with the idea of losing weight, of being skinnier. My name is Haylie Abele. I live in Burlington, North Carolina, originally from Boone, North Carolina. So growing up in the South, we all know comfort foods abound. There was always soda in the house, never really a lot of water. If we had vegetables, they were from a can. I wasn't really taught how to eat healthy and have a healthy relationship with food. I went to food a lot for comfort. I'd always kind of been the overweight, the chubby friend, and I just thought that's how it would be my whole life. I would walk to class and I found myself getting out of breath super easily. I was really ashamed of the way I looked, so I didn't even go to the gym. I would usually go for a run. It could be a very long run, as long as it felt for me to, as long as it took for me to feel skinny. I downloaded an app and I put all of my calories, every morsel of food I ate, I would put in that app. And it became such an obsession. I would constantly eat things that were marketed as healthy, things like frozen meals that were just super easy to grab and go, granola bars, protein bars, things that were marketed as healthy, but they really weren't. Throughout my journey, I lost 80 pounds. That was about over a year and a half. I got to my goal weight at 60. However, once I got to my goal weight, it seemed like no goal was ever good enough. That was all that I ever thought about it. At that point, it wasn't about my health, it was about becoming thinner. Every time I stepped on the scale, even if I'd lost 5 pounds, I thought to myself, oh, you can lose 5 more. It was just never good enough. And so that was difficult at that time. My value was only in the number on the scale and what I ate and what I saw in the mirror. I didn't see the person that I had become. I didn't see the girl who had lost 80 pounds. I still saw the girl. My weight was still where I started when I saw myself in the mirror. So the lies that I thought were you're ugly, you're fat, gross, no one is ever gonna love you, you'll never be married, you'll never be good enough. I always thought once I got to this point, it'll be over, like you can just stop. But like I said, it just never seemed, it was an endless cycle. I got down to 115 pounds. I knew God was there, but it wasn't, I wasn't turning to him. The obsession was like my chains, you know, they weighed me down. And I knew that he was there and he loved me, but I also didn't know at that time his truth about who he says I am. I was only focused on what society said I was at the time. And I remember there was some type of cake, and I remember taking bites of the cake, chewing it up, and then spitting it out because I didn't want to ingest the calories. And so there I was, just like standing over the trash can, having just spit out the cake. I knew at that point, like, something was really wrong. And that I just, like, I needed help. So I met my now husband, his name is Ben, found a church that we liked, St. Mark's Church here in Burlington, and they discipled me in how to read the Bible and how to have that daily devotional time with God. And they pointed me exactly to what God says about me and who he says I am. And it changed my way of thinking. It wasn't about who I said I was anymore. It's about who God says I am and who he created me to be. Ben really helped me learn those core values of nutrition and not see food as an enemy. These foods that were created are foods that are good for our bodies. Not every food is bad for you. They are designed to give us energy and focus and stamina to get through the day. I started my blog a couple years ago. It's called Our Balanced Bowl. I wanted to start the blog to share the recipes that I make regularly but really to tell my story. I know there are so many young women out there who struggle with the exact same thing that I do. I'm so thankful that that journey helped correlate my physical health and my spiritual health forever. They are now forever combined. Jesus was always the main character. He swooped in to save me, and he just made everything like anew in my life. When I look in the mirror now and I see Haylie, I see someone who has been completely freed of the chains that were on me from my disordered eating, from my body image issues. I'm made in God's image. I am beautiful. I need to love myself the way Jesus loves me. If you could just see the way that God sees you, if you're going through a tough time, if you could just see the way God sees you, you would know that you are a beautiful, chosen, adopted child of His. With Jesus, you will always have someone to lean on, and no other opinion in the world should matter.